How do you feel about the defense starting from where they started in game 1 to where they are now in game 4?
I feel like we're getting better each week. Some things we obviously can improve on. We want to get to the quarterback more for sure, and be better in the run game, not giving up over 100 yards in the run game, no matter how many attempts they got. You just always want to try to keep that number low, but trying to improve every week.
Grady, you guys don't have a mobile quarterback like you had the first 3 weeks, but just talk about how Derek's playing. He seems to be kind of playing his best football right now.
Yeah, they've been making some good plays, start the season off, making some really nice throws, keeping the ball alive, getting the ball out quick on third downs, and seemed like he got a good command of the offense. So definitely going to be a challenge on all levels, but definitely we can't get loose with pocket integrity because he is athletic enough to get around. So, just want to affect him as much as we can, but he definitely having a hot start to the season and looking as good as he has.
Alvin's kind of up in the air whether he'll play, but if he's in there, he's kind of dynamic in and out of the backfield.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely been one of the best backs in the league since he came on the scene, and I'm sure whether it's in the run game or getting ball to him in space in the pass game, they're going to have something for him like they always do, and it's good to see him still doing his thing at this point in his career, but so that definitely a threat and something that we always got to take account for.
I know it's, you guys, coach tries to look at one game at a time, but it's just a 3-game stretch of the beginning of the division series and just the division play. Is that important just to be clicking right now?
Yeah, very important, to be clicking right now, going into division play, got 3 back-to-back. Only can play one at a time, so that's our main focus is just this next game. And but, don't make light about it. We put an emphasis on this, division play.
How big is this rivalry? You've been a part of it for a while.
I mean, it's definitely one of the ones everybody in the NFL know about, and it's just the cities. I mean, they take it to heart. You take it to heart as players and former players, coaches, former coaches. I mean, it's just one of the ones.
So, Grady, I know, speaking to the point of the history of this rivalry and how big of a deal it is, the first one being a home game. Obviously, and you guys really just kind of starting to get into the teeth of your NFC South divisional games. What does that mean to you guys?
With the playing the Saints at home?
Yeah, both with it being at home, and this is actually your first division, opponent.
Yeah, like I just said, putting emphasis on the division games. They've happened to be the first division opponent up that we happen to play at home, and that's just where we at with it. So we want to win every game we go out there and play. So that's why we're prepping to try to get a win.
How do you feel 3 games in? Obviously, you missed the majority, but how do you feel like your recovery and just things have gone so far?
I feel like I'm feeling well. Definitely, when I'm out there, not thinking about the knee much. Just doing what I got to do, and feel like I'm playing fast and strong, and the more I play, the better I feel, actually. So that's always a good thing when saying post-game. I mean, I always feel good enough doing the game, but when you play a high intense game, the recovery process is a little different, just from coming off of practice. So doing what I got to do to be 100 when I go out there, and, that's how I go. And, I'm trying to set the standard on, what's possible coming back from a season-ending injury, so it's not really on my mind as I'm playing the game. So, just with hard work and dedication and want to and will, you can push your body to do some amazing things.
Does Matthew and Justin, have they really kind of started integrating into the system? Do you feel like that they're on pace with everybody? Do you think they've caught up?
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, they are starters for a reason. Obviously they're skilled, but they out there with the same standard everybody who's been here since the beginning of training camp. So, there ain't no drop-off, and it shouldn't be, and there's not any less of an expectation for them.
Grady, as a defense overall, you guys have come out of the gate pretty good. I know that there's always areas that you want to continue to focus on improving on, but you got a lot of great things to build on. If you had to pinpoint or look at some things that you said, hey, we need to get better on this, and this, what would some of those things be? Like
I said earlier, rushing, no matter how many rush attempts they have, you always, as a defensive lineman, I like to keep it under 100, and some of the big plays that we let out, just explosives, that's very few. You want to limit them as much as you can. And so that's why you just always want to try to get better and do the things you did, and you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, and clean up any mistakes you made from the previous week. So that's the kind of things we focus on, and just like you said, man, just get better every week.
You feel like that you're getting double teamed as much as you have in the past? Obviously, the line with David and Matthew, and just the line up front is a little bit more balanced.
We play a different front structure than we had the past couple of years. Would allow certain stuff, but everybody getting their fair share of work, man. And when your number, it's coming. It's coming to go. It ain't an attack on me. That they got to be this and that, or it ain't. We got players on every level that can make a lot of plays. That they got to make the decisions, and you got to be opportunistic when you do have your times and one-on-ones, whether it's a run or pass. But it's not something that I'm keeping a track of, good, bad, or indifferent. So it's part of the game. It's what you signed up for when you want to be a premier player. That comes with a lot of attention, and when it comes, be ready. When you get an opportunity to play a little one-on-one and do what you got to do, that's part of the game too. So everybody getting their fair share of work and getting challenges from the other teams, and I ain't really focused on that.
So, Grady, you faced this particular running back in Kamara before. Obviously he was hurt last year, but looks like he's playing at a level similar to he was playing when he first came into the league. What's your assessment of him as a running back?
I think he's a very good runner. He's can catch out of the backfield, fast, quick, strong, got some great contact balance, and he's just really got some natural ability that you can't teach or coach, and with vision and knowing when to accelerate, when to stop. Those are special traits that it takes to be a top athlete in this league, not just a running back, and he has it.
So going against a guy with those particular types of traits as a defensive front, are there any particular, keys? Do you guys just play your game the same no matter who it is you're going against, or do you kind of adjust somewhat based off of who's on the other side of the line?
You always want to stick to your fundamentals for sure. But when guys like that, they can, peek in one gap and go hit the other one. So you just got to be a little more patient sometimes, but it's a balance between patience and, trying to get off a block to make a play. So, special people always deserve special respects and efforts. So I think he's one of those guys.
The last time you were up here, you spoke highly of Judon and some of his, innate ability to just have a nose to know where the ball is. And, when he had his chance to come up here, he actually spoke highly of you in exchange and a lot of the great things that you do. Given the progression that he's made from when he first came on board to, him expressing that he's a lot more comfortable with the defense because he's more familiar with it now, do you see, that progression in his game? Do you see, like, each time you go out, like, him getting better and better and better? I know he's a hard worker. Obviously, he's got a name. That's part of it.
Judon came here as a baller. He gonna ball regardless. I can't. We 3 games in the season. I ain't nothing I'm gonna tell you that he ain't played all these 10 years of football that you don't know, and that's all I gotta say. I'm glad that he's here. He's making some great plays for us, and there's no secret to why he has success. He's a hard worker. He understands football, and we're glad to have him.
All right,
Thanks, Grady.
Thank you.
So you and Derek have faced each other several times in the AFC. What, if anything, of those previous matches are you recalling for yourself and you're sharing with your teammates now?
Yeah, I was talking with Jesse actually just a little bit ago about that, and Derek's a really smart football player. He's been around the league for a long time, seen a bunch of different defenses, and has had success, right? And so, obviously, a lot of the guys here are already acquainted with Derek, playing him twice last year, and so, a lot of it too with the new scheme, and obviously they're rolling. It's a little bit of a different look for them. So, it's going to be a really good game. I've always respected him as a player, and looking forward to the matchup.
Tell me where you're fitting in and how you're feeling, 3 weeks in, but also, the time you've had in training camp. Grady feels like that you've just seamlessly moved right in.
Yeah, no, it's really a true testament to everybody here. It's a collective effort, right? I always harp on it, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I truly mean it. You know, the coaching staff, the training room staff, just everyone on board, the equipment staff. I mean, everyone here has just done a tremendous job kind of getting me up to speed and how things operate here. And, man, I'm really thankful for the guys in the room too. You know, Jesse, Rich, AJ, you know, Mike, those guys, man, have you know, pulled me aside, and we've communicated like extra just to make sure that I'm on board with how they operate, right? And now how we operate. So it's been really good. I feel really good. Yeah, I feel like this has been home for a long time, which is always a good feeling.
What about the division games, starting these out, and these, you know, people say these count as 2 sometimes, but just this little stretch that you have and just kind of taking a foothold in the NFC South.
Yeah, this is huge. You know, obviously this in the bigger picture, you know, the next 3 games, but focusing really obviously on this first one right now with the Saints at home, and I mean how big this game is going to be for us and the trajectory of our future as a football team. And you know, we got to go out on Sunday, and I mean we can't leave that stadium without a win.
Secondary, you're not facing a mobile quarterback like you did the first 3 weeks. What does that do for the secondary now, not having to worry about a guy kind of taking off running?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that might be a little underrated from Carr. He's not looking to run. Obviously, he's a pass-first guy, but he will. You know, I think that's one of the things that makes him so smart is he's always going to take most times what the defense gives him, and is not afraid to take the long ball shot too. So, man, for us as a secondary, like I think the game plan for us is going to be very similar still, right? Like we're going to have to make sure we're tight in coverage. Make sure we do a good job in the run game, and then also like when the play does break down, because those plays happen, you got to do a great job plastering. Make sure if you're in a zone, find the work in your zone, or if you're in man, cover. You know, you got to double cover is what we call it. So, yeah, that's gonna be the plan for us moving forward. But yeah, it'll be a good one.
Guys planning for Alvin to play? I mean, there's 50-50 that he may or may not play. Obviously, you just have to consider he may be in there and consider him as a running threat or a one out of the backfield.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, he's a tremendous talent, man. One of the best backs in the league, and has been doing it consistently for a long time now. And yeah, our game plan always is going to be preparing for you know, the guys that we believe are going to be playing. So I'll let the coaches handle that. And but you know, for us as a secondary, you know, you're definitely not going to go the week and saying like, oh, he's not going to play, and then he plays, and you know, there's no prep on that. So yeah, we'll prepare the best way we know possible, and it'll be a good one.
Derek, excuse me. Derek Carr has 2 great receivers in Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. What do you, as a defensive back group, what do you guys do to slow down that high-powered passing attack?
Yeah, I mean, first for us is going to start with the run game. I think when you see those big time passes happen, you know, teams aren't doing a good job stopping the run, and you have to you commit more bodies to the run, and then bam, you know, the big plays happen with their elite receivers. And so I think first and foremost, that's where it's going to start. And then obviously it's making sure as a secondary, man, all eyes are on their deep threats, right? And they get paid too. You know, they're great players. Week in and week out, they're going to have, you know, they're going to have their catches, they're going to have their targets, and so can't get flustered or frustrated on, you know, a couple plays that they may make and catch us in a few calls. But for us, man, it's just going to be the consistency of playing Falcon defensive football, and I think that's going to be the key takeaway for us.
Justin, I don't know if they asked you about this yet, but I want to ask you about the conversation you had with Kirk on Sunday night after the game against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to him? Is that something about how good this team could be?
Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, walking off the field, tough loss, all the emotions are hitting, and yeah, we were just having a little side convo, and you know, it was like a little bit of a pause as we were walking in. I was just telling him, man, like I feel really good about where we are and how close things are. By no means does that mean like there's contentment in that, but I've been a part of teams before where, you know, you lose, but they're really bad losses. And you know our losses have been, you know, like right down to the wire, just a few mistakes, stuff that we can control, and we will fix moving forward. And I think that'll, you know, lead us to be a better football team, and especially in the win column. So that was pretty much like the gist of the conversation of like, you know, as leaders, there's, you know, we need to make sure that there's no contentment in listening to the outside noise of, oh, you guys are so close, you're there, X, Y, and Z, man, but really pushing the narrative further for us. Like, man, we can't be close. We got to be on the other side of that and winning them. So.
There's something about how you guys played the Chiefs because you have a lot of experience playing them that made you say that made you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, playing them over the years too, but it's not even the fact that it was the Chiefs. I mean, just the beginning of our schedule, being tough and just playing really good football teams, right? And how we stack up against that. A lot of new faces. There's a lot of new, schematically, teammate-wise, and so you just never know how all those things are going to come together and how they're going to gel. And I just think we're right where we want to be, at this point. Obviously, a few things we wish went our way. And found ways to get a stop earlier in the game, talking about the Chiefs, or go ahead and get that fourth down to extend the drive and potentially go win the game, those things. But for us, man, I just think it's the fact of playing those teams and, playing really good football games, but also knowing we should have won those and finding ways to win those games. That's going to be the most important thing.
I want to actually expand on that because it is kind of a new team, right? Because you and Judd have just been here for maybe a month and a half, really not even. And then, Kirk's only been here for, a few months, and he's the one off the torn Achilles. How long do you think it takes a team to kind of gel together? I mean, I know that there's context to that, but from your experience as a veteran, how long does that take?
Yeah, I think obviously there's definitely context, and it could vary for multiple reasons, right? Obviously there's different personalities on different teams, the culture, the coaching staff, the scheme, all those things are factored in. But I honestly think for this team and what that looks like is I think that the gelling and the culture and everything, the togetherness of it all is right now. And again, you can never really truly compare in prior teams and things like that. It's just different. But it's just being around for a while and seeing the guys and seeing how much it matters to the guys in this locker room, I can feel the urgency of that. And again, I hope that translates, man, to wins, because it doesn't mean it will. But we got the right guys in the building, and we really got to go out there and got to want it and got to go get it.
How do you approach a rivalry game? I mean, I know everybody, it's easy to get up for, but is it really in the locker room? Can you feel that this week that there's a little different?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it didn't take long for me to realize how big of a game this is, and especially who we're playing and how the city kind of rallies behind this game and what it means. And I've known about it from afar, heard guys that have played here prior or even in New Orleans prior. So I know how big of a game this is, and especially the DBs, they made sure to let me know how important this one is going to be for us on Sunday.
So I'm going to go completely off topic here for a second. I hear you're a big anime fan. Is your approach to this Sunday's game more like Itachi, calm and calculated, or Naruto, full of energy and determination?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. I can appreciate that one for all my anime people out there, man. I can appreciate that question. So I consider myself. I feel like when you play the game, you kind of got to have a little bit of an alter ego. You just got to go into a different mindset, right? And so I always say, man, I try to be at least cool, calm, and collected in all the things that I do, right? That's why Itachi is one of my favorite characters. I have them all over my social media stuff. But when it's game time, man, there's still an element because as it's at the safety position, you're making checks, you're diagnosing the plays, you got to talk, communicate through different things. But the times that you can let your hair down, so to speak, and just show that emotion definitely comes out in a very Naruto-esque way, right? And so, man, it's so much fun though, and I think that's why there's nothing like playing the game, right? I don't get that when I watch it. I don't get that when I'm watching film. When I see a play that I know I can make, I'm not energetic watching it. It's just in the game. It's in the moment. And I think that's what makes it so special, and sharing that moment with your teammates and coaches and things like that. So, man, that's a great question, though. Yes, I'm very much Itachi all the way.
Thank you.
Awesome.
With Tyler Algeria about anime?
Yeah. I've seen a few of his shirts, man, and the things that he wears around. Yeah. So it's cool, man. When I was growing up, anime wasn't the most popular, and so it's cool now to see the spotlight that it's getting and how many people are big fans of it. It's really cool.
It's cool to watch watching now, it's not just nerdy stuff. It's still kind of
Yeah, it's a little nerdy. It's okay. It's okay. It's a little nerdy, but there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you are who you are, live in your own skin, and yeah, it's great. I love it.
Is Naruto the number one?
It's my favorite, and I'm biased. I think it's the best one. So yeah, there's a lot of story in it. It's good. I love it.
Attack on Titan, shout out or not?
Oh man, you know about Attack on Titan?
I know that.
Oh, okay. That's a great one too. And it's all preference, right? Like I think they're two different types, obviously. You know, you can go down like Attack on Titan's very Inception-esque Tenet. Like you just the whole idea of past, future, present is
It's very dense.
is crazy. Yeah, which is really good.
We're gonna go down memory lane, man.
Just roll the dice with it.
Anime meeting, man.
Yeah, we'll have to set that up. We'll have to do like a podcast or something. Set that up. Awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
How you doing, Coach?
Good. How's everybody doing?
How's preparation been for the Saints? Okay.
Yep.
How's preparation been for the Saints for you thus far?
Oh yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. It's we have a full week. We're not on a short week, so that feels really positive to not come off a short week like we did last week. Yeah, the guys they've practiced well, and we have one more practice tomorrow to really seal everything up and tighten everything up and get ready for game day.
Yeah, how has Caden Ellis been playing for you throughout the 3 games thus far?
Yeah, no, we Caden's our green dot, runs the defense, communicates at a high level. He's tackled really well. He's pressured the quarterback. Had a nice pressure, last week against Mahomes to force the interception to Justin Simmons. And then obviously he had the force and the hit on Jalen Hurts to get the interception in that game as well. Caden's playing at a high level right now.
The Saints pose a unique problem on offense. They're really explosive, but they're also pretty efficient. What have you seen from them and kind of their skill guys in particular?
Yeah. So first of all, I see a physical outfit. Their offensive coordinator comes from that tree of the San Fran Kyle Shanahan tree where they have a lot of speed, but they play extremely tough as well. Their O-line plays tough. They have tough runs. They play with a fullback. They play with Taysom Hill, who can be a little of everything: fullback, tight end, quarterback, receiver, running back, you name it. And then all of a sudden, once you get so worried about their physical play and their run game, now you have these electric guys outside that Derek Carr can drop dimes to, and so this is a huge challenge for our defense.
Coach, how do you feel about where your defense started in Game 1 versus where they are going into Game 4, the progression?
Yeah, I think that we're on the right progression. We've made steady improvements from Week 1 to Week 3, and even now as we're in midweek heading into Week 4. We're not where we want to be. It's going to be a continual process throughout the season. But I'm really encouraged and excited about our effort, how tough our guys have played, how fast our guys have played. And now, start with coaches. We got to make sure we give a plan so our guys can execute at a higher level. And our players can execute at a higher level so we can make even more plays.
Speaking of a dynamic offense, Derek Carr has 2 great receivers in Olave and Rashid. He's got a dynamic running back with great hands. How do you slow down that particular passing attack?
Yeah, no, it's going to be an extreme challenge. And before that, they're going to try to establish the run and a physical bruising style of play. And then now you need to make sure you come up there and stop all that. And now you have these electric players that they can get the ball to, whether it be a throw or a toss or something, or a reverse on a perimeter. And so, this is the National Football League. This is what we're going to face week in and week out, is different obstacles and challenges. And this happens to be a humongous challenge within our division.
You mentioned the scheme that Kubiak has down there in New Orleans, and Raheem on Wednesday was talking about just familiarity with kind of that scheme is all over the league. He was there in Washington, really
right.
The genesis point of a lot of those guys. So when you've got a scheme that you're so familiar with, like, what have you seen has been his imprints on how to change that, and what makes his version in New Orleans different than Green Bay or Houston or these other places?
Yeah, I think every coach they learn certain things from people, but everybody puts their own spin on what they want to present and what they want to run on offense, defense, special teams, and you see similarities in terms of what I talked about in the beginning of the press conference here is the physicality, and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, you got to worry about all this speed. Well, if I was just saying that, you might think of the San Francisco 49ers, right? And so, but they're running different plays, different presentations, and certainly the offensive coordinator there and the New Orleans Saints they've done a good job of changing things and molding things in the way they want to do it, in the way they want to present, and the way they want to highlight their players. And they have a bunch of really good players, and so it's not exactly like a bunch of those offenses, but there's similarities. But they definitely, it's in their own flavor.
And then, I'm curious, looking at the offense here, there's been a lot of talk about third downs, right? And given amongst this coaching staff, the kind of cross-ball work that you guys have done throughout your careers, has there been any of collaboration kind of between? Have you guys been able to look at it and say, here's what we're seeing from our viewpoint on what you guys are presenting on third down? Has any of that taken place?
That happens every single day. We practice against each other every single day. We call them Mamba periods, and so we're going against each other every day, dating back to OTAs, to training camp. But even now, with this rhythm that we're getting into, where we're playing regular season games, we still go against each other and then huddle up. Hey, what'd you see here? What'd you see here? What did you see that this was coming? Is this route coming, or is this coverage coming? So those are constant conversations that we have out on the grass and definitely in the meeting rooms as a staff.
Anything else?
Yeah. Go ahead, D.
Coach, when I was charting the third downs, I came across...
You're charting third downs. I love it, man. I'm going to hire you, man. Let's go.
I came across a defensive thing, though, that y'all have been on the field for 12, 10-play drives or more. 3 stops, 2 on downs, 1 interception at the end of 17-yard. 17-play drive, and then 5 field goals for a touchdown. The rotation, I think the rotations will be part of that, or as that volume maybe comes down a little bit. What's been the key to being able to get a couple stop on downs there, interception, Justin, help you get off the field there?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, your question is, what's your question? Key to getting off the field on third down? Is that?
The long drive, are you concerned about that long term?
Gotcha.
Maintaining the rotations to, maybe help out if that,
I gotcha.
That doesn't come down.
Okay, yeah, so, the first thing is, of course, we don't want long drives. The first thing is we don't want them to score a touchdown. That's the very first thing. We would love to go 3 and out. We'd love to actually go 1 and out. It'd be nice to be one play and we get an interception, fumble. Let's get a few of those. But, we just, overall, we got to be better on first and second down. We've been in 10 third and ones or fourth and ones. It is extremely difficult in this league to stop an offense to gain 1 yard. We've gone 2 out of 10 on those 10. We've won 2 of them, lost 8 of them, and so. But when you really reverse and look back on it, what you really want to do is you want to be better on first down. You want to be better on second down. And now the percentages get in your favor when you can get into the 3rd and 5s, the 3rd and 6s, the 3rd and 12s, the 3rd and 15s. That becomes harder for our opponent, and it becomes easier for our defense to be able to execute and get off the grass. And so overall, you're correct. We don't want to be on those long drives like that. We want to get off the grass way earlier, and we can execute better. But you also got to give some credit to our opponents. They've done a good job of keeping it close to the vest and being able to move the chains, 1, 2, 4, 5 yards at a time. And we'll continue to evolve, starting with the coaches, to make sure we do a better job of executing those and getting off the field and giving the ball back to our offense.
Coach, I wanted to ask you. I noticed over these first 3 games, you hadn't necessarily been shy to dial up blitz packages if and when you felt it was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, for the first 3 games, you were facing quarterbacks with extreme mobility.
Yep.
Not that this guy is slow, but he's not the same kind of threat. Does that have any impact on you doing that? And what are some of the things that you look for when you get ready to see?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And all these weeks present different challenges, and you just said it. Those first 3 weeks definitely was a different challenge where, is the quarterback going to add into the run game, where they have a quarterback design run, and now you have to account for him. Or, hey, can this guy, if we do send a pressure, is he going to be able to avoid this and maybe take off for 60 yards? And so all those things you got to add into the equation in terms of, how many guys that we're going to send, or, do we need to defend a run, or are we trying to defend a pass, or is it a 50-50 opportunity? And every week's going to be a little bit different. And you guys will see on Sunday afternoon at around 4:05, 4:10 what the plan was.
Talking about winning kind of first and second down and the number of third and fourth and ones you face, do you want to see more kind of negative plays generated by your unit? Tackles for losses, things, it can't all just be turnovers, right?
Correct.
Other plays that can kind of put the offense beyond the eight ball that you want to see more of from this team?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's, of course, any defense would want a negative play on every single play. That's what you would dream for, right? A tackle for a loss, a sack, a turnover, all those things. And that just went back to my point of we need to be better on first and second down. Whether it's a no gain loss or a 2-yard gain, a second and 8 is better than a second and 1. And so, and again, that starts with the coaches. We got to improve, give our guys a better chance to execute and go make plays. And we're on the right track. We've done well, but we know we can do better and we can improve.
Coach, what do you remember from the game last year against the Saints where y'all got up 30-7 there? I think they stormed back and came up a little short.
You talking about when I was in LA? Yeah. It was a Thursday night. It was a great game. Thursday night football. I was on offense, so I'm going to be speaking from an offensive perspective. But it was an exciting game, primetime game, Thursday night football in Los Angeles, and you're right. We felt like offensively we had a pretty good plan, and Stafford executed that at a high level. Scored a bunch of points, and but they have a lot of talent. And Derek Carr and the offense, they came back and made it a game at the end, and luckily we walked away with a victory.
Now that we're 3 weeks into the season, you're back on the defensive side of the ball. Have you felt any impact from that year spent kind of on the offensive side? Like, has that made a difference? Do you feel? A
humongous difference. Yes, I mean that's been a difference since. Before I got a plane to fly here and take this job. It was a huge growth year for me, and it makes you see things in a completely different way. What irritates offenses, and I want to be the irritator. I want to irritate offenses and throw things at them that they don't like. And it was a humongous growth year for me in terms of how I see the overall picture of football.
Coach, how do you anticipate Troy Anderson's presence impacting the overall performance and dynamics of the defense, given that he's had a pretty good season so far?
Yeah, no, Troy's playing well. We're able to do a lot of things with him. He's fast, he's tough, extremely smart, and we love being able to move those pieces around and be able to accentuate their strengths. And Troy has gotten better every single week, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do on Sunday afternoon.
Okay, anything else?
Okay. Hey, stay safe. Stay safe, everybody.
Hey, Coach, how the preparations been going here for the Saints?
Oh, it's been going good. Guys in good spirits, getting ready to go out. Just came off a physical game against Kansas City, and now we're getting ready to go against New Orleans. So, you see us, we're bouncing back a lot faster.
Can you discuss their weapons in the passing game and how they've been trying to deploy them with the new coordinator?
Yeah, well, the good thing is I was in Minnesota with the offensive coordinator and the offensive line coach, so I know a little bit about their scheme, and they really attack you. They're attacking the ball down the field. We watched what they did against the Cowboys, watched what they did against Carolina. So, you got to keep the ball from going over your head, and that's one of the good things that they do. They did a really good job with Jefferson because he, understanding. So it's little things like that you can see. We got to make sure that we keep the ball in front of us and make them dink and dunk, not get shots over the field. And, of course, the running back is another weapon in the passing game. We watched the Cowboys where he went 57 on the screen. So they got a lot of weapons. that they can use, and then David Carr is having a great year. So, I mean, I think that's the thing that we just got to make sure we understand.
On the crossing route to Schuster, that looked like G was in man, but how could he play that better or? No,
really, to me, you talking on the last touchdown?
Yeah,
No, really, we were basically trying to get into a man concept and, falling off, and that was something like that. That's one of the things that we just got to be conscious of as a shallow crossers, because when one guy is higher than the other, it's hard to pass off, and I think that's the thing that we just got to be conscious of.
Because they ran into each other.
Yeah, because you're trying to get over the top. Yeah, oh yeah.
Got up.
Yep, well, everybody's trying to run crossing routes if they think you're playing man-to-man, so it's like a natural pick for them.
Okay.
Coach, how steep is the learning curve and the pressure for a player added during training camp versus a player added during the regular season?
Oh man, it's a lot steeper when you get a guy early. When you get a guy early, you can go through a lot of your stuff, and you could take it slow, and you can go, one day. You install it, and then you install it again in training camp. But you get a guy during the season, and it's like everything is sped up. You don't have those times. So all the little cheat points, you have to make sure you try to get on the side as you actually go installing. And then you bring on some extra time. Hey, look, you got to come in here extra. You got to do this. So the player and the coach has to spend more time when you get him during the season than you do during the off season.
There's been a lot of talk and a lot of questions just around improving third down efficiencies. What kind of, how can you weigh in on that a little bit?
Well, I mean, third down is, like I always equate it to being on the green. If you're a good putter, you get off, you putt, you two putt, you okay. You one putt, you're really good. And I think that's the thing that we have to get our mindset around, is that we're getting them into third down, but we got to get more third and longs, third, 6, 7, 8, 9, and get out the 3rd and 1 family. And I think that's when you can really improve on third down. And then now you can deploy all your pressures, you can deploy all your courage concepts, and you can get your 4-man rushes. But if you're always defending 3rd, 2, and 3, it's really hard. I mean, that's what every offense dream of. And I think we got to get back to the mindset of getting them in 3rd and long and then getting off the field. And we can't stay on the field long. I think that's another thing that we have to do is once you get off the football field, you get offense the ball back. And hopefully they don't flip the field like, big long punt, and now they backed up. We got to get offense some short fields, and then that helps you. Trust me, when you get the lead in some games, you can pass rush. You get a 2-score lead, you can just, call out some stuff that you want. But every game has been kind of fighting. You've been in a heavyweight fight for the last 3 games. And I think, our guys understand that. And the biggest thing is we got a good mindset going into this game, because we know we've played some tough football games. We lost 2 of the tough ones versus 2 undefeated teams. So let's make sure we don't lose perspective. These teams that we played have been pretty good. Let's just go out there and do what we have to do.
Coach, there's some obvious advantages when you've got a number of vets that are really good, that are playing together, even if they hadn't played together before. But there are also some downsides, because the better a group can gel. Obviously the more they can start anticipating and playing instinctively. How do you feel about your defensive back group and the way that they've kind of gelled and seem to be improving?
Yeah, you're exactly right. The guys are gelling. They're getting better. They come in on Tuesday. That's what's the good thing is without coaches. So now they're kind of talking amongst themselves. Hey, what do you want to do here? How do you do this? And when you have leaders, those guys tend to take over. And then they get the young guys called up to speak like, hey, we need you to do this, we need you to do that. And you don't have to sit there in the classroom per se and watch those guys compared to a young group. A young group is waiting to get fed. Where older guys are like, hey, that was a good install, but now let me go take this out on the football field. And that's what you really want. When you're a coach and you know that the players are they're eager to take over, you become a better defense. You become a better back end, and that's the best thing that I've ever been around. Watching good football players, they don't sit there wait for the coach to give them everything.
I know Coach Lake mentioned after game 1 that the depth that you guys have in your defensive front allowed you to not be forced to play some of your rooks, some of your younger guys earlier on. How are some of those guys coming along, and do you have an anticipation of when you think you'll add some of these guys into rotation?
Well, what's funny is I got a chance to talk, just talking to young guys in passing, going to their classroom and stuff like that, and I told them, NFL is a long season. So the best thing you could do is go against the first team offense. So you're getting probably the better work than even the veteran guys are getting. So don't lose faith in that. So think about it. The work you're putting in is still good work. So you may not play on Sunday, but you're still getting 2 and 3 days of good work. So when you get a chance to play, you're not taking the back seat to anyone. And I think probably I don't want to put a time on it, but them young guys, we're going to need them somewhere along the season, and we're going to need their energy. You see, because that's what's going to help us get to where we got to go. Because the young guys, they really don't know what's going on yet in the football season. But they know that at the end of the year, when we need some young guys to step up and make some big plays, hopefully they're there to do that.
Ideally, that depth can help you manage over the course of a long season injuries. Obviously, fortunately, on the defensive side of the ball, you guys, so far, done really well with being able to avoid that. Are there some specific things that you guys do to stay away from that, or is it just purely like, hey, we just cross our fingers and hope?
Yeah. To me, the big guys, they always get banged up. You get in there, you get tangled up. A guy, fall on your leg and stuff like that. It doesn't really happen to a lot of DBs, but big guys tend to get injured like that, and then you hope you got depth, and I think that's the biggest thing that we knock on wood that it doesn't happen, but we know you play football, it's going to happen. So that's why I always tell the young guys, you have to be ready, because they not going to wait on you in the NFL. They don't wait up here. Coach, give me one more week. No, they don't do that. Your time is up, and if you're called, you better be ready, because now that gives us an accelerated young guy. And that young guy start playing well, now the old guy got to pick his stuff back up when he comes back. See, so that's what's make you really good. It's not that the young guy's not ready. It's the young guy's ready that makes the older guy who's playing better. And then you take another step.
I don't know if you could refer to it as a surprise, maybe a pleasant surprise, but your opposite side DB is stepped in and has been doing pretty well. Opposite of AJ. How do you feel about that progression?
Well, the good thing is I knew Mike Hughes in Minnesota. We drafted him as a rookie, and I thought he was a good football player then. And the only thing is he couldn't get on the field. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have Xavier Rhodes, Mike, I had Trey Waynes, and I had Terrence Newman. So I had really good football players, and he was fighting to get out there as a rookie. But the thing that he did as a rookie, when he got a chance to play, he went out there and played well. And then, kind of lost track. I went to Green Bay. He went to other places. And then I seen the same guy. It's like, give me a chance, I'll show you. And he's been doing a great job, doing exactly what I seen him do as a rookie, but now as a mature veteran. He's got the same attitude. He likes to tackle. He can cover you. And the good thing is that he's out there competing against other guys that are already all-pro guys. And I think that's the thing that kind of helps him step his game up too. Like, look, I look in that room, and there's 3 all-pros over there. Can I become that next guy?
Right. The last question, obviously, again, going against, for the first 3 weeks, highly mobile, quarterbacks, your whole defensive front, but especially your outside guys, have to be very mindful, of contain. Now you're going against a slightly different kind of quarterback. Are you expecting, some different things from your guys on the edge?
Well, you said it correctly, because, when you look at it, when you're going against those guys who run what we call RPO, more like college offenses, and you have to be conscious of them guys running, and they're really good at that. You look at the MVP of the league, you look at the guy who could have been MVP of the league and hurt, and then you got one of the fastest guys and the biggest guys that we played the first week. So, you have to be conscious of that. So our guys were slowed down. They understood what their role were. And trust me, the quarterback we're playing this week, he's not slow. You just don't see a lot of those type of run plays. So now we can actually get a good pass rush and see what our guys can do. And, hopefully that'll help them guys get understanding that it's not always a sack that you get, it's how you get that sack. And it's like the first 3 weeks we've had to be a little bit tempo.
All good?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a great one. Okay.